afternoon. Thank you for joining us as we talk about a very important issue here in Minnesota, the issue to do with Uber and Lyft and their impending departure from the state of Minnesota. I am House Minority Leader Lisa Damuth. Today we are here basically because Democrats continue to resist a simple fix that would block a very ill-advised policy that has been passed by the Minneapolis City Council that would actually drive Uber and Lyft out of the Twin Cities. So instead of raising wages for drivers, our Democrats are killing jobs and actually making life more expensive and more difficult for Minnesotans. The recent regulation, if it is allowed to go into effect, Minnesota would then lose a safe alternative to get home. They will lose a safe and an option for non-emergency medical transportation that would get Minnesotans to important doctor's appointments. And Minnesotans would also lose flexible job opportunities to supplement their income. We know that Minnesotans have come to rely on the affordable rideshare services that are vital and a very vital part of the transportation landscape here in our state. As a legislature, we need to make sure that Minnesotans are not losing the options that will keep them safe, ensure that they get to important appointments and to their jobs, and we also need to make sure that Minnesotans have the job opportunities to work in a flexible way to supplement their budgets. Finally, I want to make it clear for Governor Walz and the Democrats who want to stop the Minnesota City Council Democrats from forcing Uber and Lyft from our state. I want to make this very clear. We have heard that they hope. Well, I'm here to tell you today, hope is not a plan. Majority Leader Long was quoted recently as saying that he is hoping we can work with the council where we could find a path forward. So Governor Walz, Majority Leader, the Democrats here in this state, Minnesotans are actually counting on you to step up and make sure that this actually gets fixed. Simply hoping that the City Council realizes the error of their ways is not enough. The governor and the legislature should be bringing forward a fix right now that will stop the uncertainty for hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans who rely on these services every day. House Republicans have a bill to do this. We have more than just hope. We actually have a bill and we're ready to roll up our sleeves and get to work. But time is actually running out. We need the Democrats and the governor to step up and help fix the issue here in Minnesota. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Representative Pat Garofalo.
Thank you, Lisa. And first of all, just an announcement on behalf some disappointing news. The House Republican Caucus has decided to trade Dawn Gilman to the House DFL Caucus for a future draft consideration. That's their punishment for being at the press conference late. I'm just kidding. Good afternoon. Thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate this opportunity. You know what Minnesotans are facing right now, this is not an unexpected natural disaster. This is not a crisis of current events. What we have before us is a Democrat-created crisis. The May 1st deadline that has been created is completely and 100% because Democrat elected officials have decided to stick their nose where it doesn't belong in guiding the wages and deciding the wages for those self-employed individuals in the state of Minnesota. So the bill that we're going to be proposing to take up on the floor today is quite simple. It quite simply says that the city of Minneapolis does not have the authority through its city council or through overriding their mayor, does not have that power to dictate this policy for the state of Minnesota and jeopardize critical ride-sharing services that hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans use. It's important to realize that we are beyond the phase now of this being a theoretical problem. Services are being taken away today. You've seen numerous articles about Hertz Rental Car is now calling back their ride-share vehicles. We are seeing public defenders concerned that the defendants can make it to trial. We are seeing that now education professionals are concerned that kids who attend alternative learning centers are worried about where they're going to be going. The shutdown on May 1st is not just a switch. That shutdown is already beginning across Minnesota. And now it is time, in fact, it is past time to address this problem and make sure that we can restore or maintain what are critical services that hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans use on a weekly basis. So with that, I'm going to defer to new father of Elliot Engen.
Hey, everybody, thanks for being here. So simply put, without legislative action, Minnesota Democrats will have allowed Uber and Lyft to cease to exist for every Minnesotan. And that's why we have proposed this solution. It's quite simple. It's a 4-line bill. And we think that there are some Democrats on the other side that want to see this done. They want to see these rideshare services protected, but they need to come to the table. They need to come out and say, hey, we're with you guys on this. Republicans are here offering this solution. They're going to have to work with us. 345,000 Minnesotans every single week rely on these services to get to work, to get to a doctor's appointment, like Representative Dameth said, to just everyday issues, to get home safe from the bar. This is a big deal. And without it, I think our cities and our entire metropolitan area is going to be worse off for it. So would love to answer any questions you guys have.
How many votes do you need to reach the threshold for urgency?
Yeah.
So can you please repeat the question? The new father is
How many Dems would have to join you to get to an urgency?
we only need 26. That's it. We don't need a majority of them. We don't need all of them. We just need to suspend the rules as 90. Now, of course, there's a much easier way. The majority party could simply calendar the bill or take action on it. But this is an important thing to recognize is that this is a crisis of choosing. This isn't in response to a natural disaster. The Democrats chose to create this crisis. We're just here to help them clean it up.
Are any of you guys involved in the discussions that apparently the governor and these companies and some of the lead authors are having on trying to find some sort of maybe consensus pay rate that would keep the companies in the state?
So the first part of the answer is no, we have not been invited to any meetings for dialogue or participation. They're still doing this as a Democrat-only solution. The second thing is it's important to understand it's not just the pay rates that are the problem here. Under the Minneapolis ordinance, they say that 80% of surge pricing has to go to the driver. There are multiple provisions in this ordinance that are unworkable. And just as a frame of reference, you'll hear people talk about this state labor study that they did this summer. Uber drivers today in the Twin Cities area are paid over $50 an hour for when they're driving. That's in the report right now. Under the ordinance that's being drafted, drivers would make over $90 an hour driving. Now, putting aside the fact that this is going to destroy demand, this is why it's unworkable. Putting aside the fact that it's going to destroy demand, if this were to become law and Uber and Lyft were to stay here, I would quit my job and start driving Uber. It's $90 an hour, right? So again, this is a completely democratically created crisis. If they want to put this in place for a year, to kick the can down the road, or just do something, the important thing is the damage that's being caused by this May 1st deadline is completely elective. This is created by elected officials and needs to stop. We're here to help, but so far the secret plans and secret meetings that have been going on have been excluding Republicans from that conversation.
Do you have an amendment to the transportation bill that involves the state fair and rideshare?
I do.
How would that work?
Well, it just says that when you're doing transportation planning for the state fair, you gotta consider the consequences of not having rideshare in Minnesota. It's just one of the infinite numbers of problems that are being created by them getting booted from the state.
Has He said it's a friendly amendment?
He has not said that.
Some of us here, reporters, spoke to leaders upstairs, Democrat leaders, and it seems like they don't want to do any preemption at all. Even if the statewide rates were set, they want to work in tandem with the city council to change what it has done. I guess to that you say?
Well, and again, I respect the fact that the Democrats have created this crisis and they think they can solve it themselves. Just understand that for the DFL caucus, this is a flesh-eating disease on their political future. Every single day this gets worse. And every time the hard left, far left wing of the DFL dictates policy for the rest of that caucus, the more problems all Minnesotans have. So this is a time for centrist, reasonable adults to recognize that we are in serious trouble of having damage done to our region. In less than 2 months here, the U.S. Olympic trials are going to be in Minnesota. Okay, this is tens of thousands of visitors coming to Minneapolis. They're going to have no way to safely get around. Like this is the planning that's taken place for organizers, not just those who are relying for this on a daily basis, but in commerce, airport travel. No one benefits from seeing a live CNN web stream of the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport and people not being able to leave the airport for having no service. None of that, the state of Minnesota does not benefit from that. And wishing this problem away is not a solution. Okay, that is complete failure. Every day this is getting worse. We know what we need to do to fix this, and banking on the Minneapolis City Council to do the right thing is an extremely dangerous game of chicken for not only Uber riders, but also Uber drivers.
What are the Republican leaders doing to alleviate this? Are you talking with the companies at all, or are you just waiting for someone else to do something?
Well, first of all, numerous legislators, I have reached out to Democrats and said, I understand that they're doing the maximum pressure campaign on the city council. We get it, we all see it every day. They're pressuring the city council to change 4 votes. I agree with that. However, the Democrats need a plan B. Okay, it cannot rely exclusively on the city council is going to do the right thing or it's going to shut down May 1st. And that's what they're doing right now. Plan B involves legislative action, and we know they need Republican votes to do that. They do not have the numbers to have everyone come in and preempt and fix this Minneapolis-created problem.
I think my question, I'm sorry if I didn't phrase it well. Are there any Republicans that are working with the companies directly, working with the lobbyists for the companies to try and convince them not to leave?
I think our focus is on math. And right now, we cannot have a setup where a 1 hour of driving results in $90 in charges.
There are other companies that are saying they're going to come into Minneapolis and this will work for them.
Yeah, as Governor Walz said, that's magical thinking. He said it better than I could. The reality is that these are massively important infrastructure systems. If that's the route people want to go, is by mandating wages for the self-employed, if that's the route the Democrats want to go, then give them at least more than 1 month to start up. If that's what your plan is, if you want to go after Uber and you want to go after Lyft, do something other than say you got to get this stuff spun up in 3 weeks. I mean, this is a crisis that is building, and is completely a Democrat-created crisis.
You said you don't like the 80% in surge pricing going directly to the drivers. Is there a number that you feel was fair?
Well, these are self-employed individuals. I think anything right now would be better than the Democrats' current plan, which is May 1st, they earn $0, right? I mean, these services are leaving. And we, beyond the fact that this is going to result in limiting services for seniors and restricting access for the disabled, this is going to be severely disruptive to commerce in the metro area. Particularly, as I mentioned, the gymnastics trials are just one of many big events that are taking place this summer. So these are self-employed individuals. The vast majority of Uber drivers are not coming to us telling us that they want us to tell self-employed people what they're going to get paid. It would be much better off if we just took this authority away from the city of Minneapolis. The governor himself has said that the best option right now is for the city of Minneapolis to rescind their ordinance, but we can't just count on them to do the right thing. Okay, there has to be a plan B, and we know that the Democrats need Republicans to do that.
You know, the one piece of information that Uber and Lyft would not share with the state study, with the Seattle researchers, was their profits, how much they're making. They shared tons of other information, but do you feel like you'd like to know how much they're making, or is that their right to keep that secret?
Well, so first of all, it's a matter of public record that over the last 12 to 13 years, Uber lost over $30 billion building this infrastructure. It was only last year that they turned a profit for the first time. So on a per trip or per region basis, at the end of the day, this is a negotiation between self-employed individuals and Uber and Lyft. If they don't like the compensation rates, then they're free to do something else. We still are, at least the last time I checked, in a capitalist society for now. Anything else?
Off topic, can we ask Representative Engen how Everett is?
Yeah.
Here's an update. Thank you for the question. Everett's doing great. He's strong as an ox. And actually, we didn't know this at the time that we named him on on our bathroom floor when he came a little bit early. But that means he literally is strong as an ox. That's what Everett translates to. So he's doing well, mom's doing well. I got to break away for a couple of hours, but I appreciate the question. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Representative Garofalo, just